Right now on Good Morning America, first look at the damage from reported tornadoes, the blizzard conditions, and waves topping 30 feet in the Great Lakes. The extreme weather conditions on the move.
Caught on camera, the moments before two helicopters collide in midair. We hear from a woman who raced to help one of the pilots after that deadly crash.
A reported confession from the man accused of planting pipe bombs in Washington, D.C. What he allegedly said about a motive.
The FBI expanding its investigation into a fraud scheme allegedly involving $1 billion in taxpayer money in Minnesota. The questions raised about a daycare that reportedly had no students.
The new search now being launched for the airliner that disappeared from radar more than a decade ago.
Plus, how the flu season is already setting records and affecting children differently.
Later, the $400,000 worth of lobster stolen from Costco.
And from another heartbreaker for the Buffalo Bills, to the best moment from the Pop-Tart Bowl, to a baby crawl for the ages. All the best highlights from the weekend on this Monday, December 29th.
From ABC News, this is Good Morning America, First Look.
Good Monday morning, everyone. I'm Sophie Flay.
And I'm Hannah Battah. We begin with reported tornadoes touching down in the Midwest.
At the same time, other areas saw blizzard conditions, all while millions of Americans travel during this holiday season.
From snow causing whiteouts on the road to winter tornadoes leaving a trail of destruction, millions of Americans are facing severe weather as a powerful storm system slams the Midwest and moves into the Northeast. Winds gusting up to 50 miles an hour, with waves in Lake Superior potentially topping 30 feet. In Minneapolis, crews fighting this house fire also fought blizzard conditions. At least 2 people were hospitalized. In Iowa, stranded vehicles littering highways, drivers facing near zero visibility. In central Illinois, multiple tornadoes were reported. Several homes left damaged. This bar and restaurant in Linton, Indiana, partially collapsing. That storm system now heading into the Northeast.
Timing it out, heavy snow and wind already in the upper Midwest and Great Lakes. Then we have the ice starting to slide into the Northeast as that severe line tracks through Indiana and Illinois.
Crews in Massachusetts are gearing up with plows and salt trucks.
The ice is our main concern. I know temps are supposed to warm up. Ground temps are still cold.
Across the country, California has been dealing with relentless rain for days, leaving neighborhoods caked in mud. North of Los Angeles, it wasn't Mother Nature this time, but a natural gas leak that forced people to shelter in place. The gas seen spewing into the sky. The incident leaving traffic at a standstill for hours, shutting down a major freeway.
Because of that storm in the Midwest, expect plenty of lingering flight delays. We'll check your full forecast in a few moments.
Now to a deadly mid-air collision between 2 helicopters south of Philadelphia. We're now hearing from a witness who helped comfort one of the pilots after that crash. This morning, dramatic video shows a helicopter spinning out of control seconds before crashing near Hamilton Airport in southern New Jersey. Black smoke billowing into the sky, witnesses calling 911.
I see one helicopter slowly descending down in a rotating motion, almost as if the rudder and the tail they'd lost control. And then I see a second one come down with the same issue behind it.
One pilot died. The other pilot rushed to the hospital critically injured. Both were reportedly flying close together in tandem. It's unclear why.
My husband just started screaming and said, "Call 911.
One witness and her husband rushed to the scene with their neighbor, trying to comfort one of the pilots.
There was a man in there. He was conscious and breathing and, kind of just looking around. And the only thing I could think to do was just hold his hand and talk to him. So I just laid in the ground next to him and just was like, hey, we're here. Don't worry.
The owner of a local restaurant says the pilots ate breakfast together yesterday.
It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe. They seem to come in all the time together. They fly in together and they seem to be close.
One chopper was privately owned. The other belongs to a charter company. No word yet on what caused the crash. We've also learned about a close call between 2 passenger planes at Houston's Bush Airport. A Volaris Airlines jet and a United Express flight took off from parallel runways December 18th. When that Volaris plane crossed into the United jet's path, controllers told the United plane to climb. They came within 150 feet.
The man accused of planting pipe bombs in Washington the night before the January 6th attack on the Capitol has now confessed. That's according to the Justice Department, which claims Brian Cole believed conspiracy theories about the 2020 election, but said he did not like either party. The bombs were planted outside the Republican and Democratic national committees. Cole reportedly said he was relieved when they failed to detonate.
President Trump met with Ukraine's president at Mar-a-Lago with the goal of hammering out a peace deal with Russia. But it's Trump's call with Vladimir Putin that could hold more clues to that deal. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has the details. Nicole, good morning.
Hannah, good morning to you. President Trump says Ukraine and Russia are closer than ever to reaching a peace deal, but he warns the negotiations could still break down.
Ukraine is ready for peace.
This morning, new hope that Ukraine and Russia may be inching closer to a peace deal after President Trump spent hours speaking to leaders of both countries yesterday.
We could be very close. There are one or two very thorny issues.
Trump meeting with Ukrainian President Zelenskyy at Mar-a-Lago after an hours-long phone call with Vladimir Putin.
I had an excellent phone call with President Putin that lasted for over 2 hours. We discussed a lot of points. And I do think we're getting a lot closer.
Zelenskyy bringing with him a proposed 20-point peace plan, which includes stronger security guarantees and a major concession to the Russians, a demilitarized buffer zone in the contested Donbas region of Ukraine.
90% agreed, and Ukraine security guarantees 100% agreed.
But Zelenskyy cautions any plan would likely need approval by the Ukrainian people.
It's their land, the land not of one person, it's the land of our nation.
Trump insisting Putin is ready for peace.
In a few weeks, we will know one way or the other.
Yet over the weekend, Russia launched one of its biggest attacks on Ukraine in months, killing 2 people, wounding dozens more, and leaving families without electricity, freezing in the cold. Trump appearing to sympathize with Putin's refusal to accept a ceasefire, saying Putin does not want to be forced to stop fighting, only to have to start again.
I understand that position. You have to understand the other side.
Meanwhile, later today, President Trump welcomes Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to Mar-a-Lago to discuss the next stage of the fragile ceasefire between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. Also expected to be a major focus, Iran's nuclear activities, after Iran's president over the weekend said his country is in a, quote, full-scale war against the U.S., Israel, and Europe. And as for Ukraine, both President Zelenskyy and President Trump said peace talks will continue in the coming weeks, including a possible meeting with European leaders, potentially at the White House. Sophie.
Nicole, thank you. At least 13 people have been killed after this train derailment in southern Mexico. Nearly 100 other people were injured when the train jumped the tracks, sending some passengers down a 20-foot slope. The train is just 2 years old and connects the Pacific and Gulf coasts.
The FBI says it is now surging resources to Minnesota to investigate widespread fraud involving taxpayer money. An independent journalist has released a video accusing a daycare in Minnesota's Somali community of receiving millions in state funding while operating without any children. That daycare is allegedly part of a $1 billion scheme. FBI Director Kash Patel is threatening to denaturalize Somali scammers. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is pushing back after that daycare video, his office insisting he's worked for years to crack down on fraud.
An avalanche in California has now turned deadly. 30-year-old Cole Murphy was caught in Friday's avalanche at California's Mammoth Mountain, where he worked as a member of the ski patrol. He was rescued, but died from his injuries yesterday.
Time now for your Monday weather.
Good morning. You're waking up to a raging blizzard. Parts of Wisconsin all the way into the UP of Michigan, upwards of 12 to 24 inches of snow. This transitions into more of a lake effect event during the next 24 to 36 hours east of the eastern Great Lakes, upwards of 6 to 12 inches. Could be some significant icing over northern parts of New England. Meanwhile, out west, you've had a relative break in the action, but more rain is on the way for New Year's Eve into New Year's Day, upwards of 2 to 4 inches in Los Angeles. Meteorologist Jeff Smith, ABC News.
Coming up, an apparent shark attack on the West Coast. The victim's body is finally found.
Also ahead, what we're learning about the expanding search for a missing teenager in Texas, last seen getting something from her car.
And how the flu season is already setting records and affecting children a bit differently this year.
We're back with a grim discovery on California's Central Coast. Crews hoisting a woman's body off a remote beach. A family member now confirms the victim is a 55-year-old swimmer missing since a suspected shark attack last week. Her family says she was wearing a shark deterrent device on her ankle at the time.
The FBI is joining the search for a missing Texas college student last seen outside her house near San Antonio on Christmas Eve. 19-year-old Camila Mendoza almost left her phone behind, which her friends say is unusual. She was last seen on video going through her car wearing pajama shorts before the video cuts off. Sheriff says she recently broke up with her boyfriend, but it is believed that breakup was mutual. Authorities fear she is in danger, saying they're also concerned about her mental health.
Now to the flu, already setting records this season, and doctors are predicting a surge in cases this week. Here's ABC's Allison Kosick.
This morning, cases of the flu surging nationwide. The latest CDC data shows nearly 5 million cases across the country.
Flu cases are rising in many parts of the country, with 50,000 hospitalizations, 2,000 deaths, all attributed to the flu.
New York State is now seeing its worst flu outbreak on record. More than 71,000 cases in one recent week alone, the most ever in a single week. At least 14 other states are reporting a high or very high number of cases, from Louisiana to Colorado and up to New England. And this week, as people return home and go back to work after the holidays, expect cases to rise.
We all gathered together for the holiday season. We share our love, our joy. We also share our germs.
While this year's flu seems similar to previous years, including high fever, body aches, and fatigue, doctors say with this year's strain, they're seeing more vomiting in children and symptoms are coming on faster and more intensely.
I couldn't even walk. I could barely talk. I did help with everything I did. I was not able to eat or drink.
The bulk of this year's cases are being linked to a new variant known as subclade K. Doctors say the flu shot will still help reduce your risk of severe illness, but fewer Americans have been vaccinated this year. One survey found only 34% of adults got their shot. If you do get sick, there are treatments.
So it's a good idea to go and swab and get tested because you might be able to take an antiviral such as Tamiflu for influenza as long as you start that quickly, usually within 48 hours of symptoms.
The CDC recommends everyone over the age of 6 months get their flu shot, and doctors say it's not too late. Sophie, Hannah?
Allison, thanks. Coming up, the $400,000 worth of lobster stolen from Costco.
Also ahead, the new search being launched for the airliner that disappeared from radar more than a decade ago. Please do not do this. These two people were caught on camera trespassing near Hawaii's Kilauea volcano, which, as you can see, has been erupting. They were seen on a government live stream. That area is closed and extremely dangerous during an eruption.
Well, thieves made off with a shipment of lobsters worth $400,000. They were supposed to be sent from Massachusetts to Costco locations in several states, but the freight company hired to transport the lobsters say thieves got their hands on the cargo by using fake IDs to pose as the real truckers. The FBI is investigating.
It's been more than a decade since it was lost over the Indian Ocean, but now there's new hope in the search for flight MH370. The big question is, can advanced technology finally help locate the doomed jetliner?
This flight, MH370, lost contact with air traffic control.
This morning, a new push for answers in one of aviation's greatest mysteries. The disappearance of Malaysian Airlines Flight 370, which vanished from radar in 2014. 239 people were on board. Malaysia's government says a new deep-sea hunt for the Boeing jet will begin tomorrow, focused on a remote stretch of ocean.
I'm on top of the world. You know, it's what we wanted to hear, and we hoped for that for a very long time.
The flight went missing while flying from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. Satellite data shows the plane mysteriously turned from its flight path to head south over the Indian Ocean, prompting theories that range from pilot suicide to mass murder. The biggest search in aviation history lasted for months, but found only some debris, not the main wreckage. Relatives of those lost have been left with no closure.
One day, there'll be someone will come forward and tell us what's really going on, the truth.
Now, Ocean Infinity, a marine robotics company based in Texas, will deploy advanced underwater drones in a 2-month search. If they find the wreckage, they'll earn a $70 million reward. If they find nothing, they get paid nothing. Ocean Infinity searched before in 2018, but says technology has improved since then, saying scientific evidence is helping narrow down the potential crash site.
This private company has information that they think has refined the search area, and they think that it's worth going back out and looking in this new area which was not explored before.
Malaysia's government says this new search shows its commitment to finding closure for those families.
Well, coming up, another heartbreaker for the Buffalo Bills.
Plus, a 104-year-old veteran and his stunning performance on the ice. Time to check the pulse. We start with a wild ending on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, the Bears and 49ers putting on a show. Niners quarterback Josh Purdy gave his team the lead with just over 2 minutes remaining, but the Bears could have won it on the final play until the pass fell incomplete. The Bears still in the playoffs, though. Meanwhile, the Bills suffered a heartbreak, failing on a 2-point conversion, giving the Eagles a 30-12 win, ending the Bills' chance of winning their division. The Bills coach was asked why he went for 2 instead of kicking the extra point to go to overtime.
Want to be aggressive, going for the win. We feel like, only a certain amount of time left at that point, and felt like we had a great call, great opportunity to go win it, and I'm going to be aggressive.
There you have it. Bills' extra point attempt earlier in the game was blocked. Next, another event just as dramatic, but much more adorable.
This season's baby crawl race was hosted by the NBA's New Orleans Pelicans.
Mississippi Cup spinner trailing, and naptime nemesis. Getting close. And coming in, trying to get the mob, and they stopped it, and we have a winner.
They are locked in. The winner took home a collection of prizes, including a mini hoop basketball set. And next, a stirring rendition of the national anthem at the New York Islanders hockey game.
Yeah, it was a saxophone solo performed by World War II veteran Dominic Fratelli. He's 104. Fratelli survived the Battle of the Bulge. And finally, the highlight from our favorite college bowl game of the season.
The Pop-Tart Bowl. This year, one of the Pop-Tart mascots was smart enough to jump off the giant toaster and avoid his demise.
Because it didn't take long before the other two were quickly lowered into the toaster. Top headlines next. Checking more top stories, severe storms including possible tornadoes left several homes and buildings damaged in central Illinois and Indiana. Detroit could see winds of nearly 60 miles per hour today as lake effect snow ramps up in the region.
President Trump says they might be very close to a peace deal after a phone call with Vladimir Putin and a meeting with President Zelenskyy yesterday. As Zelenskyy pushes for stronger security guarantees, Trump claims Putin wants peace, even as Russia launched another massive attack this weekend.
China is banning retractable door handles found on Teslas and other electric vehicles. Critics claim the handles are a safety hazard in crashes. They're also under investigation by regulators here in the U.S.
Legendary French actress Brigitte Bardot has died at the age of 91. She became a sex symbol in the 50s and went on to star in more than 24 films.
Today's weather, rain along the East Coast and lake effect snow around the eastern Great Lakes. Frigid temperatures in the northern plains.
And finally, goodbye 2025.
Plenty of people are also saying good riddance to the past year.
Goodbye, overspending, overeating, and negativity.
Just 3 days before an estimated 1 million people are expected to jam into Times Square to ring in the new year, New Yorkers and tourists alike came together to ring out the old year and what's become an annual pre-New Year's Eve tradition.
I am closing the curtain on unemployment, endless job applications, and self-doubt. And by 2025.
Sunday marked the 19th annual Good Riddance Day, in which participants wrote down bad memories from 2025 on a Broadway show-style ticket, ripped it up, and saved the stub for the new year. Things like debt, family drama, apartment pests, and yes, even job drama.
fat salary in the past and bad salary negotiations in the past.
The event was organized by the same people who are putting together the big show on New Year's Eve. It was hosted by actor Jonathan Bennett, best known for his role more than 20 years ago as Aaron Samuels, opposite Lindsay Lohan, in Mean Girls. But on Sunday in Times Square, he was so right, encouraging everyone to enter the new year with a clean slate.
We are going to say good riddance, and people can come up and say good riddance and close the curtain. Since we're in New York City, the Broadway capital of the world, we are going to close the curtain on 2025 to welcome 2026.
And to remember not to allow stress to overwhelm you in the new year.
Trying to control things that are out of my control. So I think that, like when you're stuck in traffic already and you can't change anything, just enjoy the podcast you're listening to, and because in the end, like, extra stress is just adding to the negative feelings.
Still working on what I'm saying good riddance to, but in the meantime, I'm going to practice.
I like that one guy's idea of negativity. That's what I'm saying good riddance to.
That's your Good Morning America first look.
Have a great day, everyone.